mesre delegate no say obia prepare na edru abato na obia nkoto aba emma obia obetimi adi anim akogye tumi edi ama the New Patriotic Party coming 2028 election. I know say second topic na ebe discuss much about that. That much we dey mention the Bana constituency.
Bana form design.
Yakopandum obia ho ye pa so far hwa na last week me your course be campaign no course all dig. Yeah, as recently Ken Kohonom ekoye campaign ba me aso Kohonom na Brian eso Kohonom and I think say obia the nins ogu banafo anim say ebia omoba omeyewe obia the policy or the Kohonom and you know ebeka say yankopon ya adoma banafo so be kire omo near omo pese odi party anim coming 2028 election. That is, I mention Chairman Charles. We be a mechana mencha can father so. And I pay a beyond will be a mecha can father as one. That is, you were one minister be your country here. Time or night, opposition, NDC party, no. I think say almost every single day, but and now no can say. Minim se odaso Ghana anase ebia wo dwene from mine
Minister Ben
Honorable Sam George that you last time what in nka
Sam George unti nka but so say no so there yani na ne
that ewiase we oyo obi a we nya atwonwa at the end of the day no the reality will catch you. Abra, NDC, opposition. One of the major things Emma omutimi every election or Ghana ha. Enam Honorable Sam George so. What did the emotions of Ghanaians, the sentiment of the people of this land? Edi diagro. Every new omadrin. Emma Ghana for eto aba Emma NDC aban near ojina so pa dachi edi year campaign kasati grant interview from a friend is saying New FM to Joy straight to BBC granting interview upon interviews telling the people of Ghana say MPP aban pese omudi gay eba omainim and in Ghana for one to aba entia MPP aban. Sabi in some okaye nyina eto Ghana for asum. Sa oba Ghana that one him say yankasa de yemfa your religion in the agro. No matter who the person is, ni tradition on find the agro. Ha a year research am a year to me say a Christopher the doors of power Ghana has it. If you own man sana bank mufo na ya bana nanom abosomsom for ina nam trankonya for nyina and sa akuakuo we na asom ni agide nyina e kire se oman Ghana de se o de sa gege nsem ye ba masa obie no no be ya adwen anything no o take advantage on that e di kasa ye etia MPP aban e ma Ghana for hu se oh say ya ma MPP for I'm free akonya mu a at the end of the day e tumutumu na de ba omanwe mu badachi hwe abra amo pass bill no e could do president and could do president ho because obidi tabono eto so court and no enama MPP abeso ye ntimi answer ne that bill and I remember the stage of that bill no na majority by then ka say there are some issues within the bill omujidi say yanhwe and rectify no na at the end of the day no one hwe obeji obi nkwa afininsa at the end of the day abra nipa no own for but NDC for say no bill no so far as parliament ajetum nko ade say Ghana man ajetum Ghana for enje samra no entum because parliament ajetum but dachi abra me no ka say NDC for nya akwenya Ghana for to abamo overwhelmingly. This is the first time they make say NDC are winning wadi nkunim bi a ebi NC da abra fans amoba ye ba the Fourth Republic we through honoma the former late president Jerry John Rawlings. And one on the victory no I think it's a normal because now that was the time I free military rule I see back into democratic governance. So the intimidation and the fear within the people no I'm to Abama. Ghana for to Abama but do na to Abama. Say Branebeye and Numa ye or buy no what I was thinking saying ka bill no ka the first thing is say oh bill no order that anything can you come present no one sign a crap record.
So I'm running here.
That's it. I didn't say, you did can hear we at the Honome.
Which was done by which of the parliaments?
The 8th parliament, yeah. That's it. Now, parliament by a didn't say, if you have Brabium, Modica proved that I'm wa. Until you delay, waiting one day, Crumpo, first with the second with the third, no more prove. Now come down, my president, Bebois.
And I say,
I don't know anything.
Oh, the one day, be
fair. Now, that's the idea why we I did one parliamentary.
Yes,
the parliament did it.
There be parliament. Parliament did with the 8th parliament. There are sessions of people on back into the 9th parliament.
Yes.
As to whether or not, sir, agreement 8th parliament for the 9th parliament, no, but the same agreement. You cannot.
But that's it. Are you trying to tell me say your opposition minds are more disrupted and as Omeka say they are going to oppose the existing bill?
They are members of the opposition today who may agree or disagree with certain stance of the 8th parliament.
So that's it. And they normal. But maybe they said right now the opposition say
first time as of more parliament. First time as of more parliament. Omodoso. A chain. So if the new parliament, the first term for yes, eye abangbagwen ka say eye bill no da abra eye de clergy ekochia no NDC we ne abane wie omokochia no e didi nkomo about the bill oka say oh bill ne de da akwese sabi abeti a ye ven say wa kan so ma de ache so de na oye o kana sikeke ye nsan kan biom to no ka say oh de aye de ye ba no say ye be approve no fast ye delay time on kra but ache me no ka say eye ende bill no e wan fa nipa ojijina mu the length breadth of the world and then owanfa on kan wasem kropo bi na so no say
minister of what
sector or ye communication minister
and so
the communication minister no adwuma guni table so opposition there say no ni adwuma bia
but I just on sambra we message Bejani right he's a lawmaker and so for us we message Bejani no automatically it is your responsibility to make sure that the right things are done in terms of enacting laws. That's it. Nientie mani abra make us asemoni say. Eye asema eye Sam George. Ekeka organ hase. Ene enne masa etwa mo ho akofa eye LGBTQ bagan hase da be kire school nkwala. That is my biggest problem in this country. Your friend is saying the current president of this land and making the same issue. So Omoba, this bill they are going to work it. Even Abra or in the power. But actually, no can say. Share the curricula Yadiaba, you see a betre eye enquala Ghana hasi. Say they say dear say wow ba na say one when it comes to your friend say gender. Mami in kind verbatim for adia eye end this government e de bagana say o see gender identity say bia e be hu say e bia wo oba ana say bia wo bema ti dem kan almost say it refers to a person's deeply felt internal experience of gender which may or may not correspond with the sex assigned at birth. So the one part say Adam McCain was say a kase obi eye ebia we obana bema
enkyerɛ sɛ abra yɛ wo no
Sɛnea
na
ɛteɛ no.
utua dua anaasɛ ebia wowɔ ɔbaa ho akwa ɛwɔ ho na mmom gyina ɛkwan a wankasakasa mu no wobɛfa so adwen sɛ oh me ankasa meyɛ ɔbaa anaasɛ meyɛ bɛrima.
But this was the buy na omo twe omo adwe gina so omo kokoye amendment the
That's amendment me no kasa me hu amendment bia o.
Okay, so there have been an amendment, and even with the amendment, there are people who still say the definition of the share is not correct. The Minister of Education has come out to say the definition should recognize two things: a male and a female, and nothing else.
Who is that minister?
Education.
I see a permanent free cry.
How do I do this?
I say permanent free. That's it. Now, when you say this one of the job, who now would that when they come to Naka? Who now don't win now? No, that's a man who see. Na, BBC. I found Sassy. I be drew some pempesway. I found out in the Chemu forever. And you say, that MPP for who I'm the can was sama. You see,
now they never that though.
Yes, the ambassador will tell us anything. Inka the first nanka minister say oyene say inka opagana fuacho. That's the first thing. All the azodika here. Na Sam George inka oba buko to dwe okọ Black Star Square. No ko buko to dwe hono na camera si ni so mu inka sentro from akotwa no ahia. No opagana fuacho say we dikana for biamo. Because minister enya sa. You see, Osha the NDC. You see now this country, these leaders, they are living like populist leaders. Sure, they are now okuja to so That's it. When it comes to international politics, especially when it comes to foreign policy, there are two key state actors. When they speak, it becomes the stand of the country in international politics. The first one is the president. Second is a foreign minister. Adebia can be automatically it becomes the foreign policy of the country. And when the global politics, I mean the 5P, they are playing chess politics in the world. No? Now what said and then you are going about roaming about just to for people to see you as a friend saying minister. You want to play your friend saying that kind of populist party try to make comments that at the end of it brings effect on the country. Huh? Donald Trump. That is the man. He himself, he decided to do or to embark on certain policy, foreign policy. That's his personal decision. If we are Ghana, sebi, we GDP and do baby. And then you are trying to even comment or involve yourself in global politics. That's it. And I ask myself, when we talk about global politics, two things play a role. The first one is your military. That's the first aspect. Second is your economy. And then you ask yourself, say, what do you want to other giant countries? You know, and any fan of Drew.
Me da say, Mamma Roger and so Aquaba. Roger, morning.
Morning, that's it.
Na,
oh, Boko, you share the way Ghana is a corner. Na enyama His Excellency the President John Dramani Mahama edi atoto akwemu na oman no e fa ntuma pa infra because the Castilla ni e de hwe embre a etwem na prices of goods and services sebio etu se gari a yawo nsuo na Ghana for bobu omo bre pa emunimuni ebinumu sori omo ntumi ndidi na sebio fuel prices e cost ro chin bia obi beka aviator and answer jets and rockets now His Excellency the President John Dramani Mahama ebai or the measures are to akwem ema economy no ayeya ma ende MPs crowd to meet fuel in their own constituency a bit is a former finance minister Amin Dr. Amin
Amin
Anta Karaga Okoche 4,000 gallons of fuel. Even when he was finance minister, we didn't 1 liter of fuel. But it's a good governance and a good economic conditions nti otumi check because time owa abe mu no otumi anche even 1 cedi 10 cedi crowd otumi anche na this time around otumi check 4,000 liters of fuel there na economy no ayeye na the first time in Ghana's history yegu petrol because yegu petrol out here yegu nsa ema na no so omo so munya kakra mfa ntwe mo taste na se bi yegu petrol so a na ye den yes na nanom so sama adu ho omo fa ngu omo ka mu na omo fa ye den entry feelings what's here enti no economy na ye good ma sisi na nanom kra atwi ka ewo asama ajo because me hu videos obe dia ka se hu bi but ngofo ato petrol omugu petrol no form se na nanom monjingu mo engine mu na se bi o se mo tu ana mo asasha mo ho a mo tumi ayeden e de gumo ka mo e de ye
na so we be catch say look when the world price of crude eco from one automatic fuel be baffle
world prices of crude at a point in time when NPP was in government was as low as 16 neba almost say to emre na wachre the see but this is a trend analysis of prices. Now my uncle mami fa unkum kakra and let me start from somewhere 2019 as at February. Now what price of crude is $54. Now mami sa unfambra inim kakra 2020 April na crude is $16.5. Now a year 2020 $28. That's around May. Now, September $39. Okay, I remember 2021, $62. And I remember 2022, $78. Now, my remember has $73. Opeso hwebi
Master me o want to know what ka say we don't worry me factor no I don't worry I don't have any Uber can say and if you want to bring me now I'll tell you
so go on
2020 you were lying but don't worry you can talk una the chairman that make my idea metro I've written it down don't worry
do the honorable thing
yeah
we a live chat a trend okay into 2023 December about $71 and in the name 2024 about 75 68 69 and 2025 about 63 and about 64 and about 60 good it's you know this year is hovering somewhere around $60 now maybe say apart from say crude oil prices fall here for the past 5 years, it was under MPP they recorded the lowest, which is $16. During that time, Omotiti was so no. Even when they brought the gold for oil policy, the gold for oil, and can't gold for reserve no. Gold for oil policy, the prices come down. What was their intention? And I said the objective of bringing the gold for oil policy, because at the time, now prices of fuel was always going up, and they were claiming that the international market prices of crude was higher. So now they were going back to barter to trade gold for oil, so that we can be able to sustain the price at which the pump price at which fuel were dispensed. Right.
The gold for oil was to make sure, sir, we look at our exchange rate, because at time the explanation was that and it probably be na dollars do one year the kokra. Instead of moving the dollars in the system, rather move the gold.
There is a view or a convention that most of the forex that leaves the country is geared towards bringing in products. What does that say? Say forex be bring na the crown. Be bring na energy sector na road na fango a the cra eba o mine mu no. E twi sa sika na be bring. It no as a strategic intervention no person somebody barter trade for gold for oil no, so that pressure of looking for dollar which causes the dollar to go up as well as the effect of the dollar going up on the petrol prices. And this was an interventionary measure. The focus was not just to keep the dollar, it was also to control fuel prices. Now, maybe say, with that aside, with the point where raising class is we needed a stabilized currency to be able to trade well, right? Now, maybe sir, the exchange rate. What has happened? Right now, we've been able to make the cedi appreciate as against the dollar. And you cannot term the lowering price alone as crude oil prices, but the stability of the currency would also be a factor. What I say? Because the crude oil price, no, for instance, $50. Now say dollar, no, 20 cedi. Obama beton fuel, no, lower. No. It is high time MPP. And my brother here, they come to the realization, say, running an economy is not the same as overseeing a birthday party event. Just like what they are doing. What you say? It is high time they sit down and learn. On person who share strategy, running economy, and therefore prices are performing Magana 49 yaji. This is something they've never ever dreamt could ever have happened. Because you're going to elections, no? Almost it's a Mahama Bakra prices also that. When him said there minute you'll be able to turn down 3 cities. Or 3 easy easy electoral commission upa area that is for the records and now for the fact upa ye pon yen driving call ebi so aya domi kwabe yan almost GCD echi or bank echi no Jaws bread and pastries. Maybe for mono or internet so and I'm call to 3 cities. So air come.
Let's just dive into the issue because of purposes of time.
Yeah.
9 months officers shot during anti-Galamsey operation by assailants. 1 assailant killed. And then Medi Hunkomo Ewaha. They say 9 months for they say Galamsey for Nashat, they say Omutu. Have we gotten to that extent where now civilians do not even fear the military again? And the military for no bar on working a 2 years or 2.
Okay, good. When it comes to 9 months, the issues now, Ebana, one say the government has always been on the side of fighting Galamsey. But in every fight, there will be some level of rebellion and retaliation because the kind of weapons some of these guys in the forest and water bodies are mining kitana na ekono enye day enye easy. Yes, Obiewu, it is a sad incident, but one thing it sends to us as a country, they say NIMOS is working to stop or keep the situation, right? Because any jumana naka start to reckon with any day ember. So the government is committed in fighting Galamsey. Now with issue of they having arms and fighting back, there have been videos that even Chinese people are arming themselves in our country. Enye adia eyende NAC. Ena enye adia Obeka say it's just a year, 2 years, 3 years. But if this is how they want to go, I think we have to open fire on them. We have to really, because taking the life of a military personnel there, Charlie, no. We've seen people being killed. A late young military guy, Mahama. To boil down to this kind of issues, what you say? Here at Renchema eto yempeni for all in the cap and fight against illegal mining. But most importantly, no, a year na me can say a year community na Galamsey no, e koso no, and I say environmental Galamsey no koso wo. E mine esa bono no mu. Sa bono na nkasa e wo say ye hu say ye wo asudi bi say ye be ko atia Galamsey no because e hu susu aso no e ya ye hu no ye ni so. That is the kind of disease, terminal diseases are enam sa insuo a yes say no ne chemicals or mudi mining ni eba no. The issue is say it's not instant. Well, it's not instant. Emba sisia. What I say? But over years no edidiko honam no mu. Obi won mu obi won say ne honam no after te why. I say etu tell and I say na ka na otu mu. Honam etu. Watere. What I say? On him say bia weather no heat and I say oni no. Bruni cancer and I say bruni osa na bibi omo friend bruni cancer. Developing in mining areas where this metallic substance are finding their way into your blood streams and into your body. Into as much as military air fighting a chromo for nankasa so responsibility say yebe kwentia it say yen wo area ha say you can say wo hin e wo area ha say poteru na ye hu say go full 2 gallons say na ye nim hu bia oji say ebe ja mo ma say yensu ayebe no bi say ebe ja mo ma nkofo ayare which is a bit jaima nkofo abenyim awo kwatafo ne nifrafo e wo krom ho debi there should be a level of education just like the government's commitment using NIMOS and the military operatives to fight let's educate ourselves, let's stand as one, let's fight against the situation so that one day we can say when there was a Galamsey war against the nation, we all stood up and we all fought against illegal mining, which polluted our water bodies. But today, we've been able to fight and kick against it. Now, you celebrated that victorious stance. You be coming together. But make us say, Demnifa Dwe Emma Mipakwa Oshe Nenkwa and Busuana Omashe Omodishe. There was such a fight, but it should be a clarion call to all of us to fight against this illegal mining issue.
Ken,
Laji, Mamina was say, I think I mean make it just 1 minute. I mean tell us before. That is a better now on my own. We don't have to be lying to the good people of Ghana, and those who are listening to us now. At times they know more than us, or more kind, and then they've lived with the experience. That's it. What transition the prices of fuel within 2022 and 2020 was $16. Me won't be going to figures in free. That's wait now. Me mount the rare fact, and there's a source. You can just check it right now. This is what that what about my kind headline share price of fuel. We bomb amount each year. Each year be since you don't start free very just 2020 now not kind 2020 the price of fuel in the world market was $41 and that one who's okay what I to shock there's it and $41 so the baby I do a massa now we are where then
I'll verify
let me wait so 2017 nearby you know that not the price at world market now $54. Now within that time the prices are now Ghana say within that year was much lesser than even near Omomoton in there 2020 I mean 2017 now 2017 was $54 2018 was $71 2019 was $64. 2020 now $16. Now $41. Now 2021 now $70. 2022 now a course and the amount of course now COVID-19 now a buy until from COVID-19 no kunyina no my fuel massa this is how it is. Can't you see the data? This data that you are seeing you are arguing and a bar almost $101. And now 2023, that's about $82. 2024 now, or no, what's already no, it's about $80. But Sabra Minuka say 2026, that's and so at it and then $50. That's upon all this, look at the prices within MPP time. And 2017, Now you ton per liter petrol organizing. Now you 5 to 6 Ghana cedis. And now on the two I see more Safuhene no. Now you ton $54 no. Now Ghana Hanum no. The highest no net of 6 Ghana cedis. So what I say? Yet a call the following year that is 2018. It increased after that price increase. I can increase to around 6 to 8 Ghana cedis. And then remember on the side and then the price now above from crampo at that one around $50 no. 54 no. Almost on 9 Ghana cedis. And what is the lowest? But maybe we have 11 Ghana cedis. So when you make this argument,
let's take it say 11.
Yes,
11. Then you look at the 11 cities vis-a-vis the exchange rate. Now the exchange rate, let's say, is pointing at maybe 10.84. I'm checking 10.84 from the Bank of Ghana.
Yeah,
we check the exchange rates and the world market price. Is it not okay comparing to 2017 where the exchange rate was about 4 cedi or 5 cedi thereabout?
But that's it. That they want about 2024. So what I say.
So but in 2024,
how much were they buying?
In 2024,
how much was the dollar? How much was the price in the world market?
In 2024,
so what I say.
The net price of crude in here.
2024. Let me give you 2024. I wrote it somewhere here. Net $80.
$80, and I exchange
$200.
So net dying.
So what I say. 2024 dollars now 14 Ghana.
14 Ghana cedis. And I fool near ton of his time.
Saturday I just let me confirm for you because I don't want to just use my intuition to say it. Saturday I turn about 10 to 11 to 12 cities.
Into 12 cities.
So what I say.
Into the exchange rate pay part and then the world market price also played part.
Exactly. But that is so what's price na the man Senka MPP pencil and we check the down and the rate of the foreign exchange right now. Now we check the price, the current price now is what from almost 100 cities to $50. As I in Kaya talk full by 7 Ghana cities. But the tia Abasa and say, yes, I delay from that to no. That you know say it has effect on the pricing.
1 city into say probably Anka call 8 cities. Say 1 city near if you anka about 8.
So that's it.
That is what you mean.
Oh, money metrasi and Casabia and then you good fool and then these are just political chat tricks and gimmicks and other propaganda on the bar interest system.
So
what I say?
Casano say anka MPP ne what?
Oh, that's it.
Yeah, wait. And one miracles go say anka mo ne anka dollar and
that's it. Make us a metro. NDC for the party no. There is not any single policy be on that part of Warsaw. Me man 1 minute of my time. So on check me policy I never took on my say and tell my price
down and doing that.
So let me
but we have done
so so what I say bibia ni wam that all the amana basa say okotono amasadwa so a bono yateso into automatically ubatiso. Second dollar to CD ratio above from into automatically to affect it. Internet dem over try hanma money no who answer. That you see, I think said this 9 months issue now and drum me and I think said this was formed because of Galamsey, right? And I have said it several times here and different radio stations say I don't know why we can't host it. We can't fight Galamsey. So all share the consequences of Galamsey. That's it. What implication on our health? Everybody say me quality kai.
But do we agree? Say the fighting is a difficult one.
That's it. You see,
say nipebi wa so brachie wakokochine wakoho. Ashi machines na de ade no. What chira obewa no anya machine fufuro no de girim.
That's it. And there, hold on, me ba on me do on. But you see, I'm looking at it from climate change perspective. Climate change is affecting the entire world, and Ochakia. The various number of crops is to find a way to kill or to curtail climate change. And the dire consequences, we know it. It has changed the rainy pattern affecting agriculture and other aspects. So, maybe always, I want every leader irrespective of NDC or MPP. Now you won't quite first Friday asim. But right now, no, look at what is happening. The issue has, escalated from just climate change issue to a security threat to the nation. That's it. Me o check near echo so just endra na eye 9 months omo echo na encro for citizens etimi anya that encouragement omo timi an body omo etimi akọ attack 9 months. State apparatus, security apparatus etimi issue to omo amoma exchange fires there. That then it tells you say the state is losing its monopoly of enforcing force in the state. Now when talk about a state is an entity that owns or that has the monopoly of power to enforce the power on its citizens. But the happening to say, Bema, currently we have certain individuals who are rather enforcing the force on the state agencies. And when such things start to happen, then at the end of the day, you ask yourself, then where lies that authority of the state? But that do be a me trust na me dream was say e banesani yedu be peso yadri. That's the first question. I didn't remember do be yadri. Then be ma timamufo sa courage, that confidence say let's attack state agencies. Not just any state agency, but a security of that such. So clearly, the issue of Galamsey, Emma ye lose that monopoly of the state to enforce its authority on the people. But that you see, two things. Some question be say Argentina, Obia, Yabeka say ya some machines, way, but the next day you will see people there, right? The first one, poverty and unemployment. There is no way the person has to work, and if say a juma any or my anymore, automatically the person might find a way to survive, and these are facts. Galamsey esha senye ne, and I remember vividly since 2015 and 2016, that was the stage Galamsey got at its peak. Ena eye ashawan issue back and has Emma esha say no, this woman is a Chinese, therefore I say but I remember by then clearly, and I know you remember because you have been in the media for a long time. Emma, now there was a rumor say the then government not a bimune so they were being afraid to even arrest the woman. That's it. Sanni Mowinti said a juma ain't ni or minding more, and it embolden people, it encourages people to survive. The second one, which is the most difficult thing and dangerous thing that is causing this whole issue, that's it. Political interference. You see, adena a national issue na SSA ye nyina ye kan bom na solve no. Always we are trying to do MPP and NDC. Therefore, whenever the issue is on board, that we all have to come together, find a pragmatic solution to it. But we say because of the opposition, that the person will be speaking against because the person want to win political power. Now, within the time of NDC, the current president, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, Abrana issue no koso amafo to go and move to Galamsey. You can say, let's come together and judge or find solution to it. But that you remember clearly, President Eka say, ekono, MPP akon, Akufo-Addo kon into onko. Is that how I chiroku? Say such chiro omanya. Na say ye ka say issue abanti we na onye the on fight here. Then we can never deal with the issue. When certain things happen, then automatically people will be emboldened, and then we'll try to find it because what created that gap for them. Sure, that's it. None we are, if we remember vividly, Tridium, Tredesi Honum, not a whole member of parliament belonging to the NDC. Say 9 months where one Kasawa buying company created that particular event, the security say, Omo Pfizer Galamsey. Akwachi and Kofosa Omo Ye Galamsey, Omo say Ghana Japadie, Omo say environment. Achi Omoa. Now, member of parliament, what me could do? I gather boys more than 6,000. I could group police station when you know ma to the extent say, on hene, and as I say, Otimi Epeka. Now, on for Omo and free honor. If you can look at how they struggled before they were able to save their life, that it tells you, say, when you are a government, one kasana 9 months now will create some company. Now when Crawford say fighting against the same people are, then automatically you are giving that room for the ordinary person to also attack them. And it's never kind of said that me no that you name. Ya can't from day one, and we are not. It is not Newton. NDC for can say, yeah, and making sure say. Yeah, hotel all mining activities. Therefore, yeah, first state of emergency. Still, say person yeah solve. This attack on 9 months. The first thing is to just bring the state of emergency. When there's a state of emergency, and yeah, fena yeah, cause of being called in bush, no, or being attacking on home. Say the bad year automatically you'll be able to solve this particular issue.
But I say, you inquire a second topic, so. Honorable Kennedy accompanied Japan to be ordered, or say call Kennedy and Japan to order or forget Peace Park MPP election committee told. Yeah, and I must say on a weekend we don't sign a Peace Park and I say next week.
I'm watching.
Watching. But microphone say Oman call Kennedy and Japan to order. They should forget that. But my main friend free.
That's it. Before I touch that topic, my main credit talking about the fuel prices on the international market.
You do. We combine. You do 10 minutes.
I'll combine it.
Yes.
Yeah. Their prices not confirm Brian. Average pricing. Only my mention the data. Me bought life. Pricing. My only time me bought month. Why? And see, these are the dates. You were the WTI, that's USD pricing, and I were the Brent pricing. 2020, me bought for January. 2020, WTI near $57.52, and a Brent $63.65. In 2020, who follow pricing now at a point in time about 39. Even in March, January, February, April. 16.55. Brent 18. Over up to a year, that's 2020, 16. Over Ufema undulating because of because of time. Now over 2025. 2025 as at March. As at March, now $68. 2025 as at March, $68. This year, I know LKC. And at 2025 December, about $60. And about $57.97. And at Brent, $62. You have two pricing goes. And you know, normally your market we are using Brent prices. And you know, as at December 2025. Now $62. Now say $62. Now Oklahoma say during the time of the MPP, it was higher. It's a lie. Even during COVID, now Obia and the price in quite equal negative. Say a free crowd on the market. Crude oil during COVID era, acquire to a negative digit because now more explore it all the time, but they didn't even have storage for it. Until you go and do that research and come again. Yes, go and do that research and come again. Now, other thing are not talking about NIMOS. Why no can say issue no is because of poverty. Any other, fair enough. But obetitry poverty no, beto yen NDC for so dear. Very big, and I say obekase.
I don't want to cheat to also.
I change to yes because I say Galamsey no, very predominant. My brother, you could make me case. Make me case. You made a statement, and from the implication of your statement, you are telling us say Galamsey was predominant during 2015-2016. Is that not what you said? If you are telling me say I did a man of Galamsey, poverty. Oh. My brother, when you go and listen to...
Do you listen to the question that he asked me?
Oh, I'm not talking about the question. I'm talking about your submission. I'm talking about your submission. See, a lot of people have gone into Galamsey because of poverty and because there are no jobs. You get me? Mm-hmm. And it's an undeniable fact. But for the fact say, Galamsey was predominant during our first term, 2015-2016. Then what you are trying to say does not have any empirical support or no any grounds of empirical evidence. It doesn't have any moral locus to say that. Mekanisa, and I'm giving you empirical facts. Say during the time of Akufo-Addo, the United Nations, I mean the UNDP report, Ebekan MIA who say under your reign, poverty gap was even widened. Poverty gap no worsened. Now, United Nations Development Program report during 2020 to 2024 highlights slowing human development in Ghana with significant multidimensional poverty, around 24.6% or 8 million people in 2021. Now, key finding the multidimensional poverty, dimensional poverty. I say Ghanaians were multidimensionally poor with about 20.1 vulnerable, indicating substantial deprivation in health, education, and living standard. Where are you in America? Now, slowdown and inequality. Under Akufo-Addo inequality gap no widen here. Inti no mbepunu na komo pe bibi kakra edi no. They resorted in Galamsey. Do you know that on high records and then on the country's history, it was under Akufo-Addo that Galamsey became predominantly high. In a sense, even excavators was the third imported commodity under the reign of Akufo-Addo. Nyama omo kraba Ghana. Say Ghana nka ye depending so much on import stuffs like rice, sugar, oil. Like under Akufo-Addo, excavators omo cracking oil la ye wu and petrol ye use Ghana. And Akufo-Addo, the third most imported commodity, excavator. Say you know a toothpick, a moment, one man, one excavator. No, it's you know say, Kasa, and I say, make analysis. This is a national call. Yes, we've said it. We've established that point. Say we all have to fight against the Galamsey. Into President Ate NIMOS into making sure say Inyama atutoyi as a country so that in perform better. So if we are educating the people, say let's fight a call. Ebe boy nina as a nation. Member embe pointing hands at wrong directions, throwing tantrums into people's eye. It will say will be to blame for Galamsey. Mona ebe blaming to the extent say your sitting president had to sign and authorize me to go into forest reserve to go and dig and I said to go and mine gold. Meanwhile, na omunya shembran kwan farmer. What you say? It's my brother. Go back, sit down, learn, and come again. Now with the issue of Ken Ofori-Atta, right?
Kennedy Japan.
Kennedy Japan. Echo signing peace pact. Here, it is high time, man. Yebe can to the face of the MPP say they have become like terrorists and a canker in Ghana's political terrain. Even your own internal election, you need to sign a peace pact. MPP now is a crime scene. It's an eyesore. No wonder they are all calling themselves murderers and all stuff. Because a few days ago, you call someone a liar when you have blood on your hands. And Obi Subeka said, "Yembisa eye ba umia se." the age no, what happened? He has questions to answer. Indirectly, they've called themselves murderers. The same person Abeka say omon signing a brand champion. You were the Minister of State in charge of national security, and look at what you did at Ayawasu. A group of lawless people who call themselves Democrats. What is happening in a MPP now? I call it a political civil war. What you say? This is what we call political terrorism in a political party. Party need a good. Now that's it. Manfa a fly away amount na kamu project here. Unim say 31st poster for NPP aba. A party no egu sune.
Ah, we don't buy na one.
Oh, obi the target me on social media. Just send him mami. Oh, was social media. Social media party need a good.
First mami in 1 minute.
Nah, me poster no edia chiro enye.
Okay.
Home call. Brother. Jina hwebi. Home call message nyama WhatsApp. Why? Ida ma group for number we say party no.
Me ni WhatsApp.
Enti uni WhatsApp ni
so party buy me ni phone so phone bio.
Scam we echi. Enti that thing.
Yes.
Enti no,
30 seconds.
What is happening in NPP right now no, is a clear indication say the party cannot manage its own affairs. Why would you think or be thinking of managing a country? It is a future impossible tense. It's no ebe ya. Mama yen group NPP for ni na wo dan bi mu. Na yen mo teachers. Na yen orient you
okay
in what we call politics and what we call managing an economy and what we call building a society, because there is a lot for them to do. There is a lot for them to learn. In fact, I will say you reset NPP for again.
That's it. Ken.
That's it. You see, I just want to say, you see, Edu baby na ye make argument. We don't have to just look at the surface of the issue that we are saying. We have to do an in-depth and cross-time analysis, and then share like the why and then the why reasons. And this ni biya kontra radio so now okay, and I'm more pencil and excavator was the highest commodity that was, but this argument is below belt. In fact, it is an infinitesimal way of arguing. Serious? That's it. I'm bizarre. Una oka sa I'm bizarre. Excavator bako boy saying. Ni bizarre. Or just you the yanoma at your phone tea. Excavator bako ni boy saying. So you see, you don't make such in fact weak argument here. That's it. Say beer. Who your beer okra emoba. What you say? Now me make excavator. Excavator back home. A bit my crack container beye like beye 100. So we will be a cry mobile. Anything is that if you classify it as the highest commodity, then it doesn't make sense. It makes your argument very weak. Second, that is 2024. So okay, that 2024. And now you import. Who said we're going by find a drip. So okay. Drip unko unim and more of excavator abane crowded bagana. So when you are making argument and then you bring this, it's more of I say sebi. I guess we lose argument now. Who know can I say yeah sure. So now we need to bring one answer. I mean, come baby. These are some of the things you need to consider before you make such argument. And to be slow, Bema, don't go and disgrace yourself anywhere again with this particular argument. No, that's it. Odi baby ya sebi. Okuafo okuani na se aboa bia edi ye fa ne sai na duane a na bura enya de ya ti se abokwakuo ena se dem bi o kola ba ko frɛ woman bi o se osono se so otofom a ana so owu a aboa bia den ebo no bi ne mo de ne ya pa se aboa ntatia enso be ne ebebo ne bi se NPP for nya asem na ye ka obi betima ka bi but say NDC need now or ka NPP asema say NPP is a bunch of terrorists then basically you don't know what you are talking about. Ye ka omo de to asem ba Ghana hanoma mona yendimu. When it comes to violence, we know to the extent say one kasa mo president. What I say, mo Frank Beraba then okay say a bad to asema MPP we cannot challenge you and ye jitum. But that you see Yakopon ya aduma eye 31st of this month you go to Aba.
Peace Park mo benya sign.
Peace Park ebe sign pa bibia be sign bibia nsi. You see party there say ba internal election eba even intra or inter elections and politics it happens because obia to me there obia pre it is normal. But say bibi ekoso no obi echana adwin and when the campaign I want tiasia you have every right to also come and debunk that person. Now asama kredijapo kan no that to me basically I saw it say he was doing politics because asem no krompa or the target Dr. Bawumia those who are money dean by when you listen to him you clearly see say Dr. Bawumia son oka clearly Dr. Bawumia enya on obi oka sa asem no say your friend is saying adubu ahen no oyarentina 1996 election no one ko bi and I say bia one delegate anto abama won't me kai such as say so for him to mention say first saying they should based on that not to vote for Bawumia there I think say no but I understand him probably he was coming from the angle say so far as obi kasama on there now also one bed now so the nipa kind automatically you agree it.
Yes.
So what I say so that's the angle that he also came from. Intermediate internal elections no more and everybody is entitled but for them to say they should call him to order him for what? That's very obvious from both camp Japan, Bawumia and then even Brian Champon. You will see here and there at times insults. We've seen a lot about that. So me, I don't see this to be an issue where I say they should leverage it about raising issue. No, as a bear issue. Say be assembly fair and confess and be a few. When you assembly, politics no be here. But near as a same campaign for years, I have said this and I'm saying it again that as shall say no, they're not a bronze cake and radio so no. Sabi, and Penifon you saw all these things. Later on, we saw the various insults from the two camps. And into the media, these are things that we don't have to stress it, but I know say they just want to leverage on that to also appeal for their delegate, and I understand. But at the end of the day, no, I don't think this should be an issue. I say a discussion. If they want to call people and then sanction people or at the disciplinary committee, there are a lot of people they have to start from before they get to Canada, Japan. But that's it.
Ebushia amena mo nyina mo ase time no anya so a enisa it's on the top of the hour 10 mami fasida no Emma Kennedy Donko and afin so ebi enko enfama Roger Rose